Hello, this is Professor Jack, and we're going to cover tonight Chapter 15. And Chapter 15 is on divorce, single-parent families, and step families, okay? So let's go ahead and start right away with our first slide. And the question, how high are divorce rates in the U.S.? Though about half of first marriages end in divorce, marriage is so popular in the U.S. that more than 80% of younger people divorcing before the age of 25 will remarry. The divorce rate today is much higher. It was in the early 60s. And, this information may be used and may be taken to understanding the sociological trend paper. This is your second paper, right? Some explanations include the effect of no-fault divorce laws, how they make that easy, right? The women's liberation movement that started in the 1960s, actually the 1920s and the 1960s and through on, the epochs, right? Economic conditions, the higher level of educational attainment among women, and increasingly tolerant attitudes towards divorce. So these are some of the explanations many like to include into explaining why divorce rates are so high and have been incrementing over the years, over the decades, right? Okay, next slide. What is the effect on children? Divorce has a broad, long-term negative impact on most aspects of children's life, right? Research shows that children who have experienced divorce have higher rates of cohabitation and more unstable marriages than do children from stable marriages. Another fact you could go ahead and use to understand the sociological trend. Here's fact one. A surprising research finding suggests that low-conflict marriages that end in divorce have more negative impact on children than do high-conflict marriages that end in divorce. So why do you think this fact, it makes it a fact? Why do you think this statement is a fact? Well, maybe, where there's more conflict, let's see, where there's less conflict, well, it's like low conflict. What is the relationship about? Children might, feel not secure, might actually feel lost, right? Hopeless, helpless, right? When there's higher conflict, children, in my opinion, at least they see that the relationship was about something. They understand a little bit more on the reasons why people separate or divorce, and they kind of understand and live with that better than not knowing why even parents divorce, right? Maybe that's one just an opinion. You have many, right? Research on the effects of marital discord and divorce on children suggests that divorce is a crisis in the lives of most children who experience it. In addition to sadness and regret, many children experience anger at their parents and at themselves. Okay, so here, let's go ahead and talk about the divorce laws, okay? No-fault divorce laws eliminate the following. And this is when there's no fault, nobody's fault in divorcing, okay? Fault as grounds for divorce, gender-based division of responsibilities, the adversarial nature of divorce, and linkage of the financial settlement to the determination of fault. So it explains why no-fault divorce laws, let's see, they do not carry any major consequences. Nobody's fault. Some argue, however, that no-fault principles of equity between the sexes penalizes divorced women financially. So, this is another one way from a conflict theorist perspective that, many women, and, women are the largest minority by far, right, might say that and might think that, it's one of the ways their male counterparts uses the system or the institution to continue to discriminate them and to take the best out of the marriage. In this case would be money and economical resources. Okay, Bohannon, a researcher, he identified 6 different but overlapping stations of the divorce process. Now, this may be true for all people. Might go in stages. Some stages may not be experienced by some, okay, or by many. It starts with emotional divorce, and then it goes into a legal process, legal divorce. From starting emotional, then, the legality of it, then the economics, what about the money, right? And then it goes to the next stage of co-parental. Let's go ahead and divide the parenting responsibilities, right? How about a community divorce, right? And then psychological divorce. So altogether, starts emotional, ends in a way emotional, since we talk of the psychological effects, right? Okay, so let's see. Okay, what about therapy when it becomes psychological? Well, the most prominent problems reported by couples seeking marital therapy are the following: poor communication, power struggles, unrealistic expectations about marriage, sexual relationship problems, and difficulties in decision-making. Here, I have another fact for you. For marital therapists, the most difficult problems to treat are lack of loving feelings, alcoholism, and extramarital affairs. So altogether, going back to previous chapters when we talked, I believe, about infidelity, right? This fact proves that as well. Okay, so let's see. Moreover, Here I have a slide. These slides are very informative, the way I designed them, okay? How do family types change as consequence of divorce? And we have here several family types. There are four. The first one is mothers with sole custody may be one outcome, okay? Split custodial families. You know, father has custody of one or more children, and the mother has custody of one or more of the children. Joint custody, where mother and father share decision making and child care responsibilities after the divorce in relatively equal time segments. You know, both get the children part time, I guess, right? Part time parents, I guess, right? Okay, you know, part time because both have to divide the time, right? Now, fathers with sole custody might be the other outcome, but by far, in my opinion, mothers with sole custody are the most common, right? What do you think? Okay, researchers have concluded that the type of relationships the ex-spouses have often determines which single-parent family style will work the best. Well, that's, you know, just for people to say or to think. So I have two facts right here that I want you to go ahead and also study. Okay, I can't go through them right now. It's kind of a lot right now, and I have to cover all the slides. But the next question, what is the difference between nuclear family and step family? I have some observations and issues that distinguish step families from nuclear families. Okay, so I want you to go ahead and study these, right? You know, biological parent-child ties, the nature and length of the couple's marriage, parent-child emotional bonds, all the way down to the degree of demands of financial resources. I have a curiosity. What is an example of a step or blended family? And the best example I could provide you with is this family here, the Brady Bunch, okay? Okay, so this is the question for that, right? The Brady Bunch is everyone's most favorite step or blended family, and also the Brady Bunch becomes an example of of a step or blended family in the United States, right? Remember that I went back to go to my sociological trend, and I include the Brady Bunch as a time where society introduced this type of family, you know, of remarriages and creating a step or blended family. So let's see, is step parenting challenging? Whoa. You bet, right? It is, right? I mean, I'm not saying that it's not. It is. Okay, because people are trying hard to establish a successful relationship with their stepchildren. This is what step parents are doing, right? Provoking resentment or jealousy in their stepchildren, trying to replace the absent biological parent. They have a lot to deal with. It's a lot of work, actually, right? It's a lot to deal with, and it's not easy, right? Now, if your option is to stay single, to avoid all these problems, then I have some guidelines here for single parenting. Not to succumb to feelings of failure, worthlessness, or pity, because it is the main reason why people then, or in my opinion, is the main reason why people go and look for someone else, because they feel so worthless, right? To keep busy with constructive activities, to listen to others but make own decisions, to set small goals, to consider going back to school and become something better, to remain flexible, adaptive, and yet independent in life. Then also I have a fact there at the bottom, joys of single parenting, and these joys include. I didn't have them there. Yeah. Okay. Include the freedom to make decisions without interference of other people, the satisfaction of watching the children grow and develop, and increased closeness with the children because you're by yourselves and your children then become your world, right? Nothing else takes away your attention from your children. So let's see. Going to the very last slide of this lecture. What are steps in building a step family? Going back to the idea of step parents, right? In case you would then opt for remarriage and have a relationship. Here are three very difficult stages, okay? Letting go of the old relationship and any pain associated with it. Ooh, that's very hard, okay? To overcome that, right? Planning for the completion involved in the new couple and family relationship, and then constructing the family to make room for the new spouse, the new spouse's children, one's own children, and other. Oh, Jesus, a lot of work, right? No wonder, right? Okay, I have another fact for you, okay? Research indicates that the majority of step families have strengths similar to those of other types of families in terms of personality issues, communication skills, ability to resolve conflict, parenting skills, and adjustment to being part of a step family. Research indicates that simple step families have more strengths than difficult, complex step families. Here are some steps in building a strong family, a strong step family. Nurturing the couple, family, parent-child, and step-parent, step-child relationships, building step-family trust and ties, keeping bridges open to the children's biological parents, and finding personal space and time for all family members. Well, this has been a very long lecture. Thank you very, very much for your time. This is Professor Jack. Bye-bye.